I had the distinct pleasure and honor of introducing Nevis Premier Vance Amory to speak at the 7th Annual Interfaith Memorial Service for Haiti's earthquake victims held on Thursday, January 12, 2017 at the Alexander Hamilton U.S. Custom House at Bowling Green, invited by a leading Haitian New Yorker, the Reverend Daniel Ulysses. Premier Amory was in Lower Manhattan for the week of the 260th anniversary of Alexander Hamilton's birth on Nevis, January 11, 1757. Premier Amory's brief and powerful speech to the Haitian community may well have been the most important and useful remarks of his visit. In this 12-minute speech, Premier Amory spoke in the spirit of Alexander Hamilton, not just about Nevis, but in a larger context about the entire Caribbean and its potential. A message that there is no doubt Alexander Hamilton himself would have embraced and articulated were he alive now in the 21st century. In Hamilton's absence, Premier Amory spoke with leadership and authority in a way that promises tremendous hope for the future of the Caribbean. This is an important speech and message that everyone should take to heart, as the audience of Haitians did this day. This speech was as fine a 260th anniversary tribute as anyone might have hoped for during Premier Amory's recent visit here in honor of Alexander Hamilton. Allow me to offer my very brief tribute to Haiti and Haitians before Premier Amory speaks. Haiti is often referred to as the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere, and these last 225 years, Haiti has suffered more tragedy and disasters than any other nation in the Americas, if not the entire world. That is painfully ironic, since in 1791, black Haitians, enslaved and brutalized, rebelled and successfully created a new nation, Haiti. Until European powers, and most of all, the young American government, led by slave-owning President Thomas Jefferson, conspired against them. Until then, this had been the only successful uprising of slaves in human history to create their own nation. Had the Haitian Revolution succeeded, we would have had a very different world, and Haiti would have become the symbol of freedom from oppression that would have ignited similar movements everywhere, including in the American South. Alexander Hamilton was a strong proponent of the Haitian Revolution. He assisted in the writing of the new Haitian Constitution and advised the Haitian government under Toussaint in developing a system of finances that would have served them very well. As for today, Haiti and Haitians remain a unique symbol of the failure, most of all of the United States, to pay adequate attention to countries closest to our shores. And most of all, we should all be interested in Haiti overcoming its burdens to become the very successful nation it can and should become within a successful region, the entire Caribbean, as Premier Amory explains so well. It's time to reimagine Haiti for the 21st century and, in fact, the entire Caribbean.
Anniversary of your remembering the devastating earthquake of some 17 years ago. And I want to thank Reverend yesterday and to also mention Arthur Piccolo, who is such a dynamo when it comes to things Caribbean, and his energy arises from the fact that he believes that Alexander Hamilton, whose birthday, 60th anniversary was celebrated yesterday, was the most famous and the brain, if I may say that, behind the establishment of these United States, which now is the world's greatest power, the greatest power, world power ever known. I therefore want to share with you my view as a Caribbean person, citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, and born in Nevis, of what I believe we could be doing in the Caribbean as a region to ensure that we get the maximum of the potential of our human resource and our physical resources as well. And I believe that over the years we have sometimes been our worst enemies as a Caribbean people. And we therefore allow maybe the trappings of history, the vestiges of colonialism, the divide and rule process which caused so much havoc among our ancestors when they sought to rise up and assert their power, not as shattered, but as human beings. Yes, slaves or people enslaved. Let me rephrase that, because a slave and a person enslaved are two different things. As people enslaved for the benefit of those who enslaved them, we may have seen treasonous, treacherous activity which created that weakness for ourselves over our history. And as you heard from Arthur, this week, for the past 5 days, we took the opportunity to celebrate the life and the contribution to humankind of Alexander Hamilton. Born in Nevis, very humble beginnings, small island, 36 square miles, and leaving there at the age of 8.5 or thereabouts for St. Croix, another small island in the Caribbean, where at the age of 8, he worked in a trading business. And it is that background as a young man working in a trading business, in commerce, which would have impelled him along the path, no doubt, which he took to create the financial, the strength of the United States of America. And as you heard from Arthur, this very area in which we are, the Customs House, would have been part of that thinking of Alexander Hamilton. But for us, I want to contend that Hamilton, as a Caribbean person, as a Nevisian, as one who had seen the atrocities meted out to the slaves who had been imported into Charlestown, which was which is the capital of Nevis now, but which would have been the port through which a number of slaves would have been landed before transshipment to other areas. Primarily, one of the ports or one of the destinations would be the United States of America. And he would have witnessed the atrocities which were meted out to these enslaved people. And he had that sympathy, that determination that he could do something, as you saw, as you heard from Arthur. And in the latter part of his life, he certainly indicated very strongly that he was against the existence of slavery. Passionately speaking about what the Haitians, yourselves in the diaspora, need to begin to think about, to remedy, change the course of what is happening in your country. And we need to see, and I want us to see the Caribbean as still suffering from the divide and rule concept. And there are issues which I want us as Caribbean people to look at. And I don't believe that we should just reach out to, in the case of your country, Haiti, your people, after a devastation of an earthquake or hurricane. I think in the time of peace, when we can think and we can build and we can create cooperative efforts and we can create growth, as you heard from the two ladies who spoke just before us, we can create institutions or institutes to enhance our human capital, engage in training, collaborative effort in economics and trade, which could make our Caribbean a much more unified, a much more prosperous state. And I say that because I feel I've seen it happen too many times. And I said, as I am Premier of Nevis, Dr. Harris and I want to mention that Dr. Timothy Harris is the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and Nevis, the Federation. And I'm head of the state of Nevis, or the island state of Nevis, with specific responsibility for education, for finance, for ecclesiastical affairs, for labor, a raft of things. But in my going around the Caribbean and listening to discussions which take place clearly after the failure of the Federation, the West Indies Federation, we've seen efforts being made to create a Caribbean community, CARICOM. Haiti's now being recognized, your country is now being recognized as an associate member. But it appears to me over the years that we talk a good talk. But when it comes to implementing the decisions and the policies, we sometimes shy away from it. But even more devastating for me, and I think I want us to see this, and I'm speaking from Hamilton's land, more devastating for myself is that sometimes we would find ourselves making decisions on policies. And once we leave, we allow ourselves to be picked off one by one because we are seeking to fight the battle as individual states and not as a united Caribbean state, a united Caribbean people. And what that has done, it has weakened us as a region. 14 countries in the Caribbean. If we persisted, I want to instill this, to take decisions collaboratively as a bloc, en bloc, on issues which affect the region, the OAS, the United Nations or whatever, issues which affect us as in terms of trade, in terms of finances, we could make a difference to the way our good friend, the United States, thinks and acts in relation to us as a people. If we stood strong, we could demand or begin to see the cultivation of a greater respect of the region, of the people of the region, not lacking in intellect, as Hamilton was a man of immense intellect, immense principle. And our people have that tradition of value of education. We value issues of our religion, social strengths we have. But when we act individually, we then doom our Caribbean to a future of disintegration because we are not united in a single purpose. If Hamilton were alive in this 21st century, I think the ideals which he exhibited and pursued would have impelled us, certainly as a Caribbean people, to that kind of sense of unity, sense of purpose. common heritage, descendants of Africans, a common location, common history in terms of how our forefathers were used to generate wealth for the European countries. And now we're seeking reparations. We're being relegated and pushed aside. I think in recent times there was an effort made to pay Haiti for the atrocities, for all the things that were lost. And I feel if Hamilton were alive, we could see a definite strength towards that. And so today I want to sound in this very august assembly here a call for us to devise a greater cooperative strategy, greater collaboration in health, in education, in the sharing resources, and not just wait for a Hurricane Matthew or an earthquake to devastate, and then we send a few people or we send a few hundreds of thousands of dollars, but let us build, through cooperation, a greater Caribbean region. And I'm sounding that because as a Caribbean person, and you as Haitian specifically, I as a division, I think we can work much more closely together for the greater good of our region.